Today, we're going to tackle a problem that every single creator faces. How do you take a great idea and turn it into a real successful app? We're going to break it down to a 5-step blueprint that completely replaces guesswork with a system for repeatable success. Okay, so you got it, right? That brilliant spark, that idea for an app, and it feels like it could change everything. But then the big question hits. What's the actual first step? For so many potential builders, this is a wall. This is exactly where great ideas just go to die. They're just lost in that overwhelming sea of where do I begin. Most of us fall into that exact same trap. We get an idea, we jump straight into coding, and then we hit a wall, and then we give up. But there's a much more strategic way. The 5-step start framework. It completely flips the script. It has you operating more like a startup studio, scanning the market, building ideas in batches, and then iterating really fast to find a winner. It's all about replacing brute force with a smarter structure. So here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with that common builder's trap. Then we'll introduce you to the 5-step start framework itself. We'll break down the 5 steps, explore why this method works so well, and then we'll leave you with a clear blueprint for your own building. So let's get to it. First, what exactly is the 5-step start? Well, at its core, it's a repeatable system. It's designed to take all that guesswork out of the building. It gives you a clear, logical path from that kind of fuzzy idea all the way to a working app. Now, for the framework itself. Let's walk through the 5 core steps, taking us from an initial market scan all the way to a fully functional app. So here are the 5 steps at a glance. You can see the logical flow immediately, and it starts with a broad market scan, then funnels down into these organized idea buckets and zooms in to define a single app, prepares the blueprint for an AI, and then finally it enters a continuous loop of building and iterating. And this right here, this is the first fundamental shift. The process begins not with code, but with research. Before you write a single line, you're out there investigating what's already successful. And this is critical. What people are actually paying for. You're hunting for a proven demand. So think of yourself as a market detective. You're scanning app stores, product marketplaces, online forums, and you're always asking these key questions. See, the goal isn't to invent a problem to solve. It's to find an existing problem that already has a paying audience. The output from this stage is just a list of validated opportunities. Now, to avoid getting fixated on just one random idea, step 2 is all about organization. You take all those opportunities that you just found and you bundle them into related categories, or what we're calling idea buckets. This will keep you focused and it stops you from chasing every shiny object. And the result of this step is so powerful. It's a structured build roadmap. Just imagine having a list of 25 validated app ideas, all neatly categorized. That dreaded question, what should I build next? It's already answered. You just move to the next item on the list. Okay, so once you picked an app from your list, you enter the reasoning phase. You architect the entire app on paper first, creating a clear and concise blueprint before any building ever begins. This blueprint focuses on 3 core pillars. First, the problem. What specific pain point are you actually solving? Second, the solution. How exactly does your app solve it? And third, the core features. What are the absolute must-have functions needed to deliver that solution? Nailing down these 3 gives you an unshakable foundation for the build. Now your blueprint meets modern technology. So instead, coding it all yourself from scratch, banging your head against the wall, you're going to translate your well-defined plan into a set of precise instructions that any AI builder can execute for you. So you feed the AI your entire blueprint. And here's the key. You also ask it to be your partner, to identify the gaps, to suggest missing features, and to offer improvements. The final output of this step isn't actually the app itself. It's a complete, refined, and structured prompt that's ready to generate an amazing first version, that one-shot prompt. And finally, we build. But this isn't just a one-time event. Step 5 is the most active phase, a continuous loop of creation, refinement, and just as important, documentation. This iteration loop is designed for constant forward momentum. You generate that first version, you review it, and then you fix any issues. Then you improve it, and you document every single change. With each cycle, the app gets better and better, and you're left with a perfect record of the entire build process. So that's the how. But let's zoom out for a second and really focus on the why. What makes this system so much more effective than the way most people try to build things? The difference is fundamental. It's a complete mindset shift. You go from being a lone coder wrestling with one single idea to being a strategic studio manager who's deploying a system. You're replacing guesswork with real market data. And because this is a system, it's designed for volume. Look, the goal isn't to spend months building one perfect app. It's to build 10, 20, maybe even 50 different apps, and let the market tell you which ones have real potential. You let the winning idea surface through the act of creation itself. And this right here, this is the entire philosophy in one sentence. Research the demand, batch your ideas, define the app, generate your prompts, and then build. And iterate as fast as you can. Each step just flows logically into the next and creates a complete end-to-end system. So let's bring this all home. The 5 steps we talked about, that's the how. But the philosophy behind them is the real blueprint for success. Ultimately, this framework is so much more than a checklist. It's a fundamental shift in how you approach building. It's a mindset that prioritizes structure, volume, and learning. And really, this is how successful studios operate, by letting the best ideas prove themselves through action, not theory. Doing these things over and over again and repeating what you're doing has multiple benefits. So the final question isn't what's your next great app idea? It's what system will you use to build it and the 10 ideas that are going to come after it. With a blueprint like this, the only real limit is deciding where to start.